Hello to my wonderful art students. I have missed you so much. I cannot believe we are 2 weeks out and haven't been together in art class for such a long time. And so we have decided to put together some online art classes so that you can continue to do art from home. The PTA put together some packets with art supplies in them, so I'm hoping you were able to pick them up at school. But if you weren't, just use whatever you can find at your house, even if you use markers or crayons or colored pencils or any other art supplies. You can do that. We also have Hazel Art Supply gave us, for the art kits that did go home, they gave us a bunch of tubes of Van Gogh paint so that we could, at a really good price. They were wonderful to us. They gave us so much paint for a really good price. So if you need something, give Hazel Art Supply on Callahan and I-10 a call, and they can put something together for your parents to pick up. So what you'll need for this art lesson is watercolor paper and a paintbrush and some other supplies that we'll go through at the end. I have picked some artists for these online lessons that are living artists, and right now are some of my very favorite artists that I work with very frequently and have learned a lot from. Today for kindergarten, we are going to work with an artist by the name of Jenna Rainey, and she is one of my very favorite artists. I have learned so much from her. So while you're here in my online studio, this is actually my art room at home where I do a lot of my painting. We will go through and learn all about Jenna Rainey. So before we begin, I want you to remember when we do art, just like when we're in class, that this is a time for you to express yourself and your own creativity. Making art is your own expression. Your art is yours, and it's always amazing. I'm not here to give you a grade. So if you weren't able to pick up the supplies at school, please grab whatever you have and just make art anyways. We want to see what you're doing. And I also want you to know that your parents can help you, or you can even post online with friends, and we'll talk more about that later. So this lesson is specifically for kindergarten, but if you want to do any of the other lessons, they'll go all the way through 5th grade, and you're welcome to do those as well as we load them up. So on our next slide, this is the artist that I will be teaching you about today. Her name is Jenna Rainey, and she is a self-taught artist born in Southern California. After graduating from college in Chicago, she moved back to California with her new husband, John, and when her moving van was unloaded and pulled away, there was a random box of art supplies left behind, and they didn't belong to her. And she began experimenting with these art supplies, and suddenly her art career was born. She started with wedding stationery and doing calligraphy, and she has turned that into a multi-million-dollar business, and her art is everywhere. You probably have seen some of her art on Target items or at Nordstrom, Staples, and lots more companies have branded her items and put them on bedspreads or sheets or all different kinds of things, clothing for kids. And she is a mom to a precious little boy named Miles who just turned 1. You can see him right there in the picture. So I tried to pick some artists that are alive and doing a lot of fun things online right now. Jenna has classes every day. In fact, even the one that we're going to do for kindergarten is one that she's doing right now. And so I thought it would be fun to get you going at a slower pace. And then if you want to go onto her YouTube channel, or you want to go on her Instagram, I think she's on Facebook. But these are people that while you're at home, you can still connect and make art and learn some really cool art techniques from someone who is an absolute professional and a beautiful artist. So on our next slide, you will see that she is an author. She has authored 2 books. This one here is called Everyday Watercolor. I actually have this book, and it is an amazing watercolor book. It teaches you all kinds of techniques, how to make flowers, how to make leaves, how to do all kinds of wonderful things. And she especially loves helping people find their inner creative voice. On our next slide, she not only has a flair for florals, she also paints some really amazing abstract art. Many of these designs end up on products that you can buy at different retailers. She is very active on social media, like her YouTube channel and Facebook, and especially Instagram. So if you have access to any of these, you can just follow along with her and learn. She's a very good teacher. And in her free online tutorials on our next slide, you'll see that she is really good at teaching about watercolor basics, about the way that you mix colors, how to go with the palette that you have and turn those colors into hundreds more colors. So it's a really good lesson. On our next slide, I selected her as our distance learning artist because she's so full and just loves art. She's full of this love for art. She's very joyful. She creates every day. And she started off without any real skills and didn't let that stop her. And she gives of herself every day to others to inspire them to find their own creative voice inside and let it out. And then on our next slide, we will be doing Jenna's peaceful and simple abstract art. She just posted this a few days ago, so I thought that's perfect for my kindergartners or for any of the grades, but this will be specifically kinder. And so on the next slide, here are the supplies if you want to go ahead and get them going. Your folders, if you did pick it up, your folder would have had what's on the left that we sent home, a piece of watercolor paper and a paintbrush. We just pulled from all the paintbrushes we had in the classroom from years past. So if you have your own paintbrushes at home and you don't like the one that you received, by all means, please use your own. And you can add in other items too. So at the top, you'll see we have the dot card of the watercolor, dried dots of watercolor, and that I'll teach you how to wet them so you don't use them up very quickly. A little bit will go a very long way. You can add in on the right hand side, you'll see some other things you can add in, like 2 water containers. I prefer to use clear glass just so I can see if my water starts to get muddy looking. A white plate. If you don't have a white plate, that's okay, but white is just the best for helping to see your color when we mix them together, the true color. You'll need a pencil and some paper towels. A piece of cardboard works really good with masking tape or painter's tape so that we can paint, tape our paper down. And so then when we paint, the paper doesn't rumple up and get lumpy. We can keep it spread out. And then when it dries, it will dry flat. So if you can get all of those supplies together, and then in my next video, once we post that with the class, the actual lesson, just like we do in class over the big screen, you'll have everything you need, just like when I set up your desk with everything that you need before you come in the classroom. So the cool part about having class this way is that you can pause the video and you can go back a little bit to catch up, or if you don't understand something, you can go back and watch it again, and you're not in a rush. We don't have to get it done in an hour like we do when we're in school. So take as long as you really need to feel good about what you're painting, and I cannot wait to see your masterpiece. So this is a sample of once you've completed your masterpiece. So this is mine that I did of Jenna Rainey's abstract art. Once you have done yours, I want you to sign it. I want you to put your name in the bottom right or left hand corner and just really use a lot of flourish to make it look beautiful. You've worked really hard on your art piece and you should be proud of it. And make sure to like this video, and when you have finished your abstract piece, you can have your mom or dad take a picture of it and post it on the Oak Meadow Elementary NEISD page, and also on the Oak Meadow Elementary PTA page. We have both of the school page and the PTA page. If you'll post it on there, they would like you to hashtag it with hashtag Saddle Up Mavs and hashtag Rooted Oak Meadow. So my hope is that you will do this art together with your friends, that you will post it online, and that everybody can encourage each other just like we do in our classroom, so we can keep our community going and still stay in touch with our friends, and make sure that everybody's giving each other a good thumbs up and telling each other that they've done a really good job, so we can still stay close and be excited about what each other is doing. So let's go have some fun and make art.